being an entrepreneur sounds cool, but the reality of building a business is very, very difficult. Every level that you hit, there's a lot of things that suck that you just won't want to do. What you're capable of is on the other side. I don't feel like it.
And if you're committed to what it is that you're trying to do, nothing is going to stop you from getting there.
Welcome back to another episode of Real Business Owners with myself, Trevor Cowley. Today I have a friend and an amazing guest, Scott Carlson, on the podcast. He's an individual that's a part of the Real Business Owners Inner Circle, as well as the owner of Utah Safe Company. And I just learned more information that's even cooler about Scott and his business just prior to hopping on. Usually I'll chop it up with somebody for 5 or 10 minutes before we get on the show. And so you ever been on a podcast before? He said, well, yeah, mental health one, which is, obviously seems kind of like a curve, like mental health, safes. Yeah. To me, those two things don't necessarily go together, right? Yeah. And so when you started explaining a little bit about what it is that you do in terms of the mental health suicide kind of prevention really is what it is. Exactly. I mean, we can label it as mental health because that's what it is, but mental health issues obviously at times turn into, I need to take my own life. I don't see a future here for me anymore. Right. Yeah. Just when you're in a low spot. So if you will, kind of, is that what broke you into the industry? Like, let's unwrap this unwrap the gift that is Scott and the Utah Safe Company.
Oh, I appreciate it. No, I've loved being on here. It's an honor to be out here with you because I've been in the Inner Circle for a couple years now.
Yeah, so. Dude, I've been meaning to ask you multiple times, and then like when I saw you on the track, I'm like, this is my chance. I'm going to say, bro, let's get you on the podcast. What the hell's going on?
Nothing good to say before that. I always laugh. I'm like, man, I feel like the past 5 or 6 years have just been full of failures and good failures because they've led me to where I'm at.
Forward. You were failing forward, but failing nonetheless still feels like failing, right? Things can be falling into place, but it still feels like falling. Yeah. You just have to have the mindset that it's probably for my benefit, not necessarily to discourage me to quit.
Exactly. Yeah, I felt like one of those kids in the fun houses, in the mirror houses, where you walk into, you keep running into the mirrors because you're trying to find your way out.
Yeah, it looked so good. Surface. This gift was gonna be
yeah. And so we went around. I've tried a bunch of different things. Like I said, I failed in a lot of different areas, and one of the areas that we kind of had always done with the safe side was this mental health side. And so I got into the safe industry. Actually, I ran one of the local gun ranges here. We just got safes going in there. And I was like, hey, there's a huge need here in Southern Utah for a safe store. And so I was like, I'll start with one as I left. I had just finished up college, went to, got a job offer at the school district to be a teacher there. So I was like, okay, I can be a teacher and just do this as a side gig. Yeah. And so I opened up my store. I shouldn't say my store. I rented out a little space in a buddy's store that was there. He had
I was going to say the store, what, in the garage or like?
Yeah, I rented it. It was 100 square feet.
It's just better to call it a store and on day one. Like, I got a spot.
Exactly, yeah. And so I just had it there. I stored some safes there and then slowly built up to now, we've done stuff for gold mines. We've done stuff for celebrities. Yeah. We've done.
So how long have you been in the industry?
So we're coming up on 7 years next month for this company, but I've been in the industry for almost 10 years now. Mm-hmm. And so
explain to the people how a safe coordinates with mental health or suicide prevention.
Yeah, for sure. So, after a couple years, I started, talking with some of the different organizations. We actually worked with one of the suicide prevention coalitions here in St. George, and just kind of talked to them. And they're like, "Hey, we're thinking about doing safes." So I was like, "Yeah, whatever we can do to support you, we'd be happy to do that." And so then it kind of triggered, well, let's explore this a little bit more. Why are they asking for safes? What is that? And so we went and did a bunch of research, and we're like, oh. Okay, so the correlation between safes and suicide prevention is the idea that you're having somebody pause before they go and commit. So there's research done by the Department of Defense that says that if someone decides to commit suicide, there's a 10-minute window that you have to break that train of thought and to interrupt that before they
pattern.
And so if you could intercept in those 10 minutes, I want to say they had 89% likelihood of not committing. And then if you do interrupt that and you get them off, it's a high likelihood that they won't try again. And so we're like, okay, well, we have a product that can help people pause to protect, protect their lives and to help their loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're like, okay, let's get more involved. And so we started reaching out to different organizations. We've worked with the Department of Veteran Affairs here in Utah. We're with the Utah Suicide Prevention Coalition, the Gun Violence Prevention Center of Utah, the Utah Public Health Association. We've got a couple different organizations here that we work with.
I'd say
that
you're just listing them out, bro. It's like, dude, we got a couple more alone. When you're on the spot, it's like, yeah, I know that there's more. She's not coming. Yeah.
So and we work with some great organizations, and so we kind of started talking with them, and they've been really good to be like, yeah, we agree this is a good spot to go with. And so then with my background, I have 15 plus years in the gun industry.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, well, look, I understand where the gun industry is at, because I'm like, I'm a gun owner. Like, I don't want people knowing what guns I have in there.
Yeah.
And I don't want them to tell me that I can't use certain things and those kind of stuff. And so then when I look at the mental health side, I'm like, okay, well, there needs to be a middle ground.
Some sort of stopgap.
Yeah. And then we have these two extremes, because a lot of the organizations that I work with, they very much are like, okay, we need restrictions, we need all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, we're so far away from each other that we're not getting anything done. So
almost like some of them are anti-gun.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so I've been working with them, I'm like, well, let's bring this into a middle ground that'll actually be effective, that we're actually going to make some change. And so we've been able to get them and kind of talk about the safes and helping give those out and make them so that they're like quick access, like the ones that we usually do, like a biometric. So their fingerprint scanner, they open up within 2 seconds. So for the individual that's like, well, I want a safe, but in case of a self-defense situation, I still want to be able to access it. And so it's still quick that way, but then it still gives them that pause before they go and open it up and everything. And so we started that route. I had a supplier that I was working with that was giving us really good deals so that we could turn around, give really good deals to these organizations. And then they decided that they were done. They didn't want to sell anymore. And so
stop producing altogether.
Yeah, they were a larger like private equity company. They owned a bunch of like smoker companies. And so they did like grills and smokers and that kind of stuff. And so they're like, yeah, we're just going to sell this out to somebody else. And so they ended up selling out. And so I was talking to my wife. I'm like, I just got some organizations that were actually, rolling, that we were making some good headway with. I'm like, I got to find somebody else. And she's like, well, why don't you do your own? She's like, why don't you actually like take the time and do it the way that you want to?
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, I guess you're right. Like, let's do it.
Solve your own problem.
I don't know. And I'm like, I had the connections. I've been in the industry long enough. I know the processes. I know where to go and source safes and how to do all that kind of stuff. I have a member of my team that's awesome that was starting to do more of our IT stuff. And so I was like, well, let's advance the industry, because the industry is very old. The industry, I mean, it's been around forever.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
It's the industry is a dinosaur, not necessarily based upon the actual age of the industry in terms of like safes. What we mean by that as well is also the entire industry that is the safe industry operate like dinosaurs, meaning there hasn't been a whole lot of advancements or changes in terms of the way that safe companies actually even do business.
Yeah.
Like the CRMs and stuff like that, like how they manage their customers or how they operate their safe company. It's probably 80% of the people are out there just old school, maybe writing invoices or, whatever. They just don't really utilize technology. They don't use today's technology at all to advance their business or how they run their business.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, if you go into a safe shop, 90% of the stores that you're going to go into, you're going to find an older gentleman that's should be retired but is just holding on. Yeah, he's living a lot of
shit else to do. He's not a golfer, so he's like, if I was, I can only do that a couple hours a day.
Yep.
Just hang on to this thing and just keep doing what I've always done. Sit here and wait for somebody to walk in the door.
Yep, exactly. And so that's kind of where we're like, okay, let's bring it more modern. Let's start pushing that side. And so we started looking at apps to go in tie with the safes. And there's other manufacturers out there that have some apps that go with it. But once again, it's kind of, the industry's definitely been focused towards like theft protection and that kind of stuff. Not really towards the mental health. And so we're like, well, let's do something different and let's change up that mindset. So we started working on an app. And so our app that we built out, it has mental health resources on the app. And so there's the safe side. And so it shows, you know, if your safe is open, closed, we're going to put in like a temperature sensor, those kind of things. So just some more like details on your safe. But then we're bringing in that mental health side of like the thing that I talked to you about was we're having notifications go to support people. So if I'm somebody that's in crisis, you're my support network. If I go and open up my safe at 10 o'clock at night, you get a notification that's like, hey, Scott's messing with a safe at 10 o'clock at night. We are now
in the damn text message and be, bro, you good, homie?
Yeah.
I don't like the look of this.
Yeah. Now
nobody's going to a gun range into the pitch black.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. And so now we're breaking that 10-minute realm of if they have committed to, you know, to trying to attempting suicide or to commit suicide, they now, we have a way to interrupt that thought process. Because
my guess is also if somebody's going through that thought process as well, even if, it's a thumbprint or fingerprint or whatever, I open it up and it's quick and fast access, my guess is it's not fingerprint, rip it out and, you know, do what you're going to take your life.
Yeah,
it's not in a matter of 30 seconds. You just whip it out and go.
Yeah.
My guess is there's probably a long pause.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're about to do something
permanent.
Yeah. I was going to say life altering, but it's life ending.
Yeah.
You know, so you're altering people that love and care about you's life, but you're ending your own. And so I would guess that there's a big pause there. Like you're kind of taking it all in and you're going to obviously prepare the weapon properly or whatever, but there's going to be probably a 5 to 10 minute window. Maybe they're going to pull it out and write a letter or whatever. So you've got that time frame to hopefully somebody reaches out if they got notified that the safe is being opened.
Yeah.
Where somebody could reach out to them and hopefully catch them in that window. Right.
Yeah. And so that was the thought there is we get those that are in support. We also added in like a temporary lockout, a voluntary temporary lockout. So you can go on the app and be like, hey, I want to lock myself out. Don't let me open it up for, you know, I want 24 hours or 3 hours, 5 days, whatever. And then coming from the gun industry side, I'm like, okay, well, in self-defense situation, I want to get in there. And so we've got like even just like a fail safe. If you want to lock out, but you need to get into it, you can override. But we're going to ask you questions that are like, hey, what was your favorite pet growing up? Or who was your best friend? And starting those thought-provoking questions that are, once again, trying to interrupt that mindset there. So we've got that kind of stuff. We integrated in some self-regulation stuff. So there's breathing exercises, grounding exercises, those kind of things. We've got text or call to 988. I'm not sure how many people are aware of 988, but 988 is the mental health crisis and suicide line. It's free. It's like 911. You can call that. It's anonymous and free. You can call, text. They have a chat widget on their website.
Kind of like a therapy section almost? Like
so it's certified counselors that are on there that you can call and text. They don't ask you name. They don't ask personal information. They keep all that private. It's just a conversation just like me and you.
People. Hopefully to break the pattern.
Yep, exactly.
You know.
So we've got those on there. And then we've got a resource locator that is able to, you know, if you're in a mindset and you need to find somebody close by, you can go on there. It ties in with Google Maps and says, okay, here's a crisis center that's close to you. Here's a hospital, or here's a therapist if you do want to go talk to somebody.
Yeah, and what I was mentioning when we were talking about this prior to hopping on is, you know, my guess is, you know, underage people that are dealing with mental health problems that decide to take their own life, you know, having your gun in some sort of safe or not easily accessible to, you know, people that are under the age of 18 probably has a big ability to blunt those numbers too. Because if owning a gun required you to prove that you had safety measures in terms of like, how are you storing it? Or, you know, that, like, I could see some of those things come in. I can see that being part of a middle ground in terms of, hey, you have to make sure that weapons are secured.
Yeah. for sure.
right? Like, and it proved to us that you're securing these things.
And there's legislation that's coming out. Utah's got one. I believe it's House Bill, I want to say 80, House Bill 80. That's in the proposal stage right now, that it actually would put a criminal offense and be a criminal charge on somebody who doesn't secure their firearm properly if that firearm's used in
a negative situation.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so there's different legislations that's doing that across the state or across the U.S. So there are things like that coming out, and that's what we're trying to figure out is, how to help with that middle ground, how to make things that are that would help people want to actually lock up those firearms. Because like you said, there's I think they said somewhere around 38,000 children that died just last year alone by accidental discharges, or going and grabbing mom and dad's gun that's in the closet or that's on the nightstand, and accidentally either shooting themselves or shooting their sibling. And so it's those kind of things, just putting those firearms, even putting medications, anything like that away in a safe that's dangerous. It's still
them exposed or accessible to anybody walking through that. Kid serious, man.
They are. And then
find that shit.
The biggest argument I hear from people are like, well, I train my kids really well on like firearms and how to do that. And I'm like, yeah, but I mean, I've got kids. I know my neighbors that come in here, and I'm like, I make sure my stuff's locked up because my neighbors, I don't know how well they train their kids on my stuff. And we have people that come from another neighborhood, so I don't know their parents that well. I know most of my neighborhood, but I'm like, if they come in, who knows what they're going to do?
My daughter turned 16. She's a good driver.
Yeah.
That's like, I mean, I don't have concerns about her driving.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, what else can you do?
Yeah.
In this situation with safe, there is something that you could do. Like when I've got my daughter on the road, it's like, she's a good driver. We trained her, but And the nice thing with what we're doing with the notification in the app, that can work the same way. So you're out, like if I'm out here, all of a sudden I get a notification, hey, my safe's getting opened up. I'm like, crap, is my safe getting opened up when I'm here? There's no BS there. And my guess is the ones that you're talking about, are they a smaller one?
Yeah, they're usually handgun safe.
Huge.
Yeah,
ones that you're putting in your closet or building your house around or whatever, right?
Yeah, these are typically for more of that fat and quick access, but also like just locking them up just in general. The full-on protection ones, there's some awesome manufacturers.
Is there like anything GPS-wise that says where that is because it is smaller and somebody can break into your house and take the actual safe?
We don't have that in the GPS side just because it costs more. And with the people that we're working with, the organizations we work with, we want to keep it cost effective. There are like devices that you can buy. There's
on your car or whatever, you can put it on there.
You can put like an AirPod
inside of the safe.
Yeah, there's a company called SimTech. They do a stealth alert. There's a little
been
that puts in there.
Your shit's
driving down the street. My down to Mexico right now. Your shit's driving down the street, my guy.
Like that would be I guess a way to let you know that your shit's gone.
Exactly.
Try to make light of a terrible situation.
So there's just different things like that. And so, as we looked at this and, talking about the business side of things, going from where we were doing a retail store, and as great as the retail store was and as great as we were doing there, we just knew that we had the opportunity, we had the know-how, we had the resources to make something bigger happen. And so we were like, okay, let's do it. Let's go for it. Let's go after a better cause. Let's go after something that's bigger than just, we'll say if we get a couple bucks, hey, something here and something you tell.
We need to sell 10 more safes. It's like, it is cool when there's a little bit bigger of a purpose behind what it is that you're doing. Everybody's going to hustle for money, but if you have the ability to make money and also like create a positive impact, there's just a different level of excitement or energy, especially if you're going through tough times. You know what I mean? Like we're talking about mental health and we're talking about business owners at the same time. We're on all sides. I'm like, man, I think business owners are probably the highest probability of having what would appear to be mental health issues with all the issues that happen in business.
Oh yeah.
But it's not necessarily talked about because nobody really checks in on business owners. Nobody, all that. But we're talking about mental health, and I'm like over here, I'm like, man, the mental health of business owners. Me personally, I think as of the last 5 years or so, I've been in business for 15 years, and so I've got to know business owners since 2009. And it feels like that feeling of defeat is only increasing in the industry that is business. And I think part of it is obviously the social media side of things. 100%. You've got the guys doing, hey man, like, oh, if I lost my $10 million today, I could be a millionaire in 30 days. And here's my Bugatti and here's my this. And so it's like, man, what am I doing wrong? It seems like that they've got the life that I want.
Yeah.
And there's talking about how easy it is. That's what bothers me about a lot of things online. And I think that that's affecting people's mental health on the business side of things. They're wondering why they can't see those same results, or what's wrong with them, or why does it feel so hard for me, but yet they're over there making it look easy. Yeah. And so it feels like over the last 5 years, even in conversations with people, and I talk to a lot of business owners that reach out to me about various different things. Some are mental health, some is suicide stuff, some is just, hey, I've got this business opportunity, do you want to invest into it? Some are, hey, I have a quick question, can you take 5-10 minutes with me and answer my question? Like, so I'm jumping on tons of different calls with business owners, and it's like a common theme that a lot of business owners, I'm like, dude, where are you at mentally, man?
Yeah.
It's, if I'm being honest, man, it's I'm struggling.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then you beat yourself up even more for struggling. Yeah. Because again, you don't feel like that you should be struggling, all this stuff. And it's just these mind games where we're watching people have success. We're on the path to success, but what we're dealing with versus what we see feel like the opposite ends of the world. So therefore, by default, something's wrong with me.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And that's 100% true. And I mean, I felt like, especially going into the business realm, because I mean, really, RBO was kind of my guider with everything, because I grew up in a family of educators. Nobody in my family ever did business, and so I was kind of the first one to jump into this. And so
the black sheep.
Yeah, I'm this crazy one.
Yeah.
Do
something safe. Get your work for 40 years in the school system. Get your paid summers. All that.
Yeah, something like that. And so, but when I was starting out, I was that same thing. I'm like, okay, I just have the worst mental health I've ever had in my life. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to figure out, and I'm trying to not project that when I go out and when I'm interacting, because I'm, with the safe industry, we do a lot with builders and we work with a lot of high-end clientele.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, when I go talk to these guys, I don't want to look like I'm defeated.
Yeah, like you just crawled out from a wood pile. Yeah. Please buy. My business depends on it.
My life depends on it. Yeah. Like, ignore my red eyes and tears that are currently flowing down. Like,
I was crying on the way over to praying that you buy.
So exactly. And that's how you feel as a business owner. I feel like at times it's like you can't portray that. And so that's why I'm like, man, anything we can do for mental health is huge, because I mean, even just starting these conversations, like I said,
talking about it,
people don't realize how actually normal it is to feel that way, and that it's okay to ask for help and to reach out, because that's what we see with a lot of the suicides. And I've worked with these organizations. I mean, I'm in one committee that we talk about the data side, and we're working with like even the morgues and the state, like autopsy people. And we're working through the post suicide.
Trying to learn.
Yeah. Trying to learn what were some key signs that we saw from families and different things and what could have done differently. And a lot of them we hear from the families, and the things that are on the notes are like, we didn't even know. They didn't talk to us.
Well, it's like the whole Robin Williams thing.
Yeah.
Comedy actor, looks all happy all the time, making everybody laugh and smile, but yet
dying or like
turmoil.
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell in some cases.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people that do that, I mean, I think that they're empaths, right? They can feel what other people feel and, all of that. And so like they feel the world hurting or other people hurting, and they take on other people's they're not the type of people to they put themselves last.
Yeah,
Let's just put it that way, right?
exactly.
They don't take care of themselves, and then they end up in a situation where, you know, they have dark thoughts, you know, because they're not utilizing the people that are around them in a manner in which is productive to what they're going through mentally, right?
Exactly.
So let's talk about the business side of stuff here just for a second. I know that, you know, we talked about it being a dinosaur, and, you know, it was like a couple of years ago, you reached out to me, you were going to throw an event, you know, for the safe industry to try to like bring them to the future, you know, hey guys,
Bring it to lose the 10,000s.
Technology.
Yeah.
And I want to show you how to leverage it, right?
Yeah.
Like trying to kind of serve the industry as a whole and level them up as you were sitting there like, hey, yeah, you know, I've been around the game long enough. I know enough. This thing is not advancing in any way, shape, or form. There are better ways to do it, you know, all of that. And it just seems like, yeah, you're in the industry, but it's almost like you're thinking above the industry, right? Like the mental health stuff or, you know, advancing the technology of the industry as a whole, helping other say, because it's not really necessarily competition if you have a local store and you're doing business locally. If somebody's in New York, cool. Hey, use this technology, do this. This is how we're leveraging it. This is how we're automating things and just being somebody that raises the industry standard as a whole. Talk about that. I know that was in the works. We never, I don't think, executed fully on it. I'm not sure where you ended up because there was going to be an event, you know, I was going to go out and speak with it. I mean, obviously that was an idea, like one of the thousands that we all have as business owners, and we kind of start dabbling and going in that direction. How far did you go in the direction, and why did you kind of curve it back? Was it like, man, I just need to focus on my business, make sure it's profitable, making sure I'm good, and then we'll worry about that later, or talk about that?
You know, the biggest thing I think that helped kind of curve, and we're still going down that route, but the biggest thing that's kind of helped or had me kind of pivot a little bit my priorities was, as fun as it is to carry dead weight, it's not fun. We reached out to a bunch. So we actually, we did a big marketing campaign. We reached out to manufacturers. We reached out to dealers. We sent, I think, somewhere in the ballpark of like 20,000 emails. And granted, there's like 130 dealers. So we were on top of it, promoting this, talking with them, and everyone was like, oh, that's a cool idea. And then when it came time to put forth the action to just sign up, nothing.
Yeah.
We had a few people that were like, yeah, if it's for free, then I'll definitely come out. And I'm like, okay, like my event, we were going to go deep sea fishing. We had a nice hotel, like we're going to get some good food. And I'm like, this is not like, we were going to front a bunch of the costs, but we needed a little bit to reimburse us a little bit. And they were just like, no, give it to me for free.
Yeah.
And so that's what we kind of discovered across the industry with the current demographics.
Yeah, that coincides with the dinosaur philosophy.
Yeah.
Dinosaur thinking. I'm not willing to invest to advance. If it's free, cool.
Yeah, I'll do it. And that's what we found. We worked with manufacturers and we showed them what we could do.
Yeah.
We were like, okay, hey, let's help with sales training videos. So you can train your dealers how to sell your product better versus just a marketing video, which is what they're doing right now. Yeah. Marketing videos. And they're like, here, dealers, learn from the marketing video. Yeah. We're like, no, let's get some trainings and let's actually teach them how to do this stuff so they can be more successful. We did mock-up training videos that they're like, these are amazing. How can you do the rest of them for us? We're like, yeah, here's our price. They're like, absolutely not. Can you do them for free for us? I'm like, no, do you not understand the concept that if you do this, this will help you grow your business? Yeah. And you'll get more sales and this will pay off better for you down the road. And so we kind of went away. We still do. I've got about, I don't know. I think we're at 7. Yeah. I think we've got 7 dealers across the nation. We've got a couple in Florida, a couple in Texas, California that we're working with them and they're killing it.
You know what that exposes? The amount of people that are actually willing to invest into making an advancement.
Yeah.
But the majority of the people that aren't willing to invest to make the advancement are also probably sitting there bitching and complaining about the results that they're experiencing.
100%.
So,
well, and that was the funny thing is we looked at it. we had one manufacturer in particular, and we told them the price of what our CRM was. And we're not that expensive.
Yeah.
We're a couple $100, and so I'm like, we're in a very reasonable, and this was going to be a custom built out because the idea was that we'd build it for them and then
Be able to duplicate it.
Yeah, and duplicate it and send it out to all their dealers so that their dealers could use the same system. And the guy comes back and he's like, dude, I won't even pay a tenth of the price for this. And I'm like, literally one cell would pay your whole year's worth of the CRM. And they just weren't willing to take that step because, like you said, they weren't worried. They weren't willing to make that investment to improve, to actually get their sales. And the best part about it is it's a family-run business. The sons that are next in line to come and do it, they're texting and they're emailing. They're like, how can we get this? When can we get this? Can you guys please push them to do this because we see the benefit for it? They're like, oh, and so I think a couple
They're putting it on you. Sell harder.
So we can't do anything. Dad won't let it. Dad, uncle, they won't move.
You're the damn son. If you can't sell them on it, what makes you think I can?
Yeah. And so that industry, it will take some time and it'll get there. This generation that's in there right now needs to.
What do you think that is? Do you think it's in the next 10 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're starting, they're all 55 to 70 years old.
Oh, these guys are older than that. These are 60 to 80-year-olds.
Really?
Yeah. We were talking to one of the manufacturers and talking about the different clientele that they have, the different dealers. And there was one that they were talking about that they're in their 70s and they're still moving the safes. And I'm like, what are you doing? How have you not hired somebody to take over that realm? Like, if I'm hitting, I already don't like doing this. That was the first thing I hired.
I was going to say, I would guess that the only shitty thing about the industry is the moving of stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah, well, and my moving guy, Nate, I mean, he's at the gym every morning for 3 hours and he's banging multi. Yeah, he does his stuff. And so I'm like, dude, he's young. He can do that stuff. I'm like, I don't want the back problem.
He wants to flex and look cool by picking up heavy shit.
Yeah.
I know. He takes pride in that.
Yeah, exactly. And
we're all trying to drop 10 pounds and he's trying to gain 10.
Exactly. He bulks up. He does his awesome. He just thinks it's the greatest thing ever. And I'm like, and it's easy to pay him to do that. And he loves it. And he thrives in that realm. And I'm like, I don't. I don't thrive in the realm of having to move. I'll do that.
I want to lift something.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I just need to stay toned. I don't know.
Get myself above the doing.
That. Yeah. And so, I mean, I hired him on, and that saved up a ton of time for me, too.
Yeah.
Because I'm now able to go into the office. I'm able to spend more time doing sales, that kind of stuff.
Advance the business. Even the ability to free think, to work on projects like, oh, man, let's create our own, or, let's maybe do this safe company mastermind, you won't have time to even free think about even those ideas if you're the running it and doing it.
Sales, delivery,
fulfillment, customer support, janitor, secretary, HR.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so hiring that out, that was a huge help. But yeah, the industry is just struggling to even get that concept of why would I spend more money to make more money?
Yeah.
I don't know, I just keep the money that I have.
Yeah.
And so for that side, that's kind of where we were pivoting to. And like I said, we still have interest. It's slowly growing. I actually have the team.
A little time for some youngsters to take over some.
Yeah, and we have some, and we have, like I said, we have a couple handful that are younger guys that are out there doing it. And we had one company, since bringing us on, they increased by 243% in their sales for the year. And they were like, we can see why this is all beneficial.
Yeah,
they can see the actual growth happening from it. And so I've got a team member that I have dedicated to that side, and so he's just focused on running that side of the business. And
as what's the trend in the industry? Like, is the trend for safes in general in terms of safe sales, are they moving up? Is it kind of plateaued? Is it moving down? Does it have variations in years, like election years where gun sales just fly off, guns fly off the shelf because the Democrats about to get in and they're talking about gun control, so all Republicans run to the store. I've heard of the Trump slump before. It was like almost like a perfect marketing machine. Yeah, scare the shit out of one side they all go buy what they want to buy, and then nothing happens. Nothing changes.
Exactly.
But there's this big rush on guns.
Yeah.
Is it very similar with safes during that same time frame?
Yeah, very similar. It very much is driven by emotions. One of the reasons why I started the safe company was because I looked at sales, because I worked at a gun range and sales weren't. If you were to sell somebody on a higher ticket item, it took a sales effort. You actually had to go out there. You had to convince them. It took time for them to think.
Build a real relationship too. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about big money on some of these big safes.
Yeah, well, and on the gun side, and then on the safe side, it was a lot easier because people have pain points. There's either they have valuable things they need to do. Yep, you got kids in the home. You don't have guns locked up. Somebody's house got broken into. Somebody's house caught on fire. So the pain point was a lot easier there, so that they came in more qualified. They came in easier to come in.
I'm probably not going to look for a safe if you don't have guns or you don't have value.
Yeah.
So then it's like, okay, well, what are you even looking at a safe for?
Yeah. We don't
start inquiring about what their fears are or what they're worried about, because obviously there's something.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't get many window lookers when I come in. They come into my store. 99% of the time they come in because they have a pain point and they're ready to buy.
Yeah.
And so that was
covering it. Building a relationship naturally in a conversation, not
not for salesmen. Yeah, not car salesmen.
Yeah, not forcing it type stuff. You know what I mean? Like truly diagnosing what their pain point is, and to be somebody that has the ability to solve that pain point isn't a bad thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if somebody can exchange money for a little peace of mind, isn't that what the purpose of money is?
Yeah, exactly.
Because you can't get freedom or peace of mind. It's just fucking paper outside.
Seriously.
You know, like.
Yeah. So that's kind of the route that I got into that side, and why we see a lot of the trends come when there are more panic going on in the world or in areas. That's when we see safe sales increase. And then just depending on, like, recently we've seen a lot of luxury high-end stuff. And that's one of the nice things why I chose the safe industry is it's pretty recession proof. Because wealthy people will always need to protect their stuff, and they're willing to spend the money to protect their stuff because they understand the value of a safe. And so when recession hits, things hit, other people might save their money. They're like, okay, now I need to protect. And so they'll come in and buy. And so, so like COVID years were some of my best years. Because
I think everybody listening had a couple good years, bro. Let's just say I made some M's, in those couple years, and it was high times for us all. And the tide raised all ships. We were all rose up during COVID. Mortgage people, real estate people, business people.
Yeah, those toilet paper manufacturers there. We had marketing campaigns where, we'd tell people, you can hide your toilet paper here in the safes, keep it locked up.
The most simple thing in your home right now. Yeah. Make sure you take the guns and jewelry and money out, put your toilet paper in. You're not going to wipe your ass with your gun or your jewelry.
Exactly.
So that's funny.
So, we saw good stuff there. And then this thing slowed down, with our markets that we reached out to, going away from just... I try not to sell anything under $1,000 just because my clientele that are under $1,000 are usually my ones that are my biggest headaches.
Dude,
the ones that I sell.
Bro, I just responded to a 1-star Google review.
Yeah.
And he's talking about, I overpaid, all this stuff. And like I look at his file, it was somebody that he had a friend with that was working here at the time. And, he got a discount.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, why is it always the people that get the homie hookups or get the discounts that you go above and beyond to try to take care of always end up being the biggest pain in the ass?
Yeah.
It's like premium price means premium people for the most part.
100%.
And if you need wiggle room to work out something with somebody's, it's a premium price. You have the wiggle room to do that. But when they pay you pretty much nothing and you're breaking even on it, just taking care of somebody, there's not a whole lot of wiggle room for refunds or this, that, the other. It's like, bro, like, what do you want us to do? You chalk it up as the case of every business owner has experienced a low-paying client that no matter what you do, you think you did it well and you hit it out of the park. tons of notifications to get us his stuff by this time, or else it'll be filed after the deadline. Sends the last piece of information in the day before deadline day. And then said, I got filed after the deadline day, and now I have a late filing fee. And it's like $200 to $400.
Yeah.
And so I was like, dude, I can help you take care of that.
Yeah.
But what about these notifications? What about giving us the stuff the day before when you were told if it's not here by this date, then this is going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, there's no getting through to that type of a person. So like what you're saying, and I think many business owners listening could vibe with the fact that it's like, man, low end vibes are exactly that. They're low end vibes. And usually something negative happens when you are dealing with a lower end type consumer customer, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And that's what I tell like all my sales guys. I'm like, find premium customers, because they're going to be the ones that actually, like, I've sold $75,000 safe to a guy.
And it's no big deal. Got a check, laughing, having a good
100%.
time, great,
Yep. Still calls us up every once in a while. If there's ever a problem, we have no problem. It's such a good side. He refers people over to us. I had a customer.
Or you spend that much, you're going to show some of your rich homies.
Yeah.
Like, look at the car. I guess it's more than a car. Some cars, but I got it parked in my closet. That's safe.
Yeah. So we get that kind of stuff, and then like I told you, I was a little bit late because I had a customer that came in. Man, he spent 2 hours with us, and he was just talking about all those things, and he was just so afraid of anything over $2,000, even though that's what he wanted.
Yeah.
And he's just like, no, I can't do that much. And so it was just this long thing. And me and one of my sales guys were just talking. We're like, man, that customer is going to be a 5-hour customer. Because even though we've sold him, we made the money, which is great. When we go to deliver that safe, he's going to sit and talk to us for 5 hours, and I'm going to lose money because of all the time I'm having to spend with it. And so I'm like, installed. Yeah. And then during a sale, and I'm like, okay, when we deal with most of our like high-end premium customers,
they want to fucking check, bro.
This is what I want. This is what I need. What do you got?
Yep.
This is what we got. I like that one.
Yep. Here's the check. We're good to go.
That also is a big distinction of successful people versus unsuccessful people. Successful people know exactly what they want.
Yeah.
They've already did research. They know what they're looking for. They go in to actually find what it is that they want.
Yeah.
And unsuccessful people don't even know what they want.
Yeah.
And it's like, you got to walk them through, what do you want?
Yeah.
And ask them all these, well, this might be your best bet here, And so I think that that's true above and beyond safes. Successful people in business, they know what they want. They go in there. They've already made a decision. This is the outcome that I want. Now it's time to do the work, or it's time to pull the trigger or write the check or whatever it is, right?
Yeah. Well, and like you said, it's the key thing there is it's the outcome that they want. It's not the price point that they want.
Yeah.
It's not
pay for outcome.
Yeah. They pay for the outcome. And that's what, like you said,
result. Yeah.
For the safe industry, it's that peace of mind. Yep. I know this. The outcome is I want a good quality safe. This is what it is. This is what it costs. Great. We're good. We move on. We're done with it.
I got a shit ton of valuables. Cool.
Yeah.
The $75,000 one is yours. You got a shit ton of valuables. You just told me you have a lot of assets.
Yeah.
You got a lot of assets.
Dude, I've seen
Get
crazy
the big boy in the bag.
Yeah. I've seen crazy stuff where I had a guy and he did a vault room. He did 2 vault rooms in his house. One was for genealogy, just a full room full of paperwork.
Oh, wow.
Yep, family genealogy. Downstairs was for his train set. He had a model train set that he had in his vault room downstairs. I was like, what are you doing? But that's what he wanted because he knew he needed to protect those things because those were valuable to him. And I'm like,
I don't know about others.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to steal your genealogy, bro, or your train set.
You can just digitize it instead of do a whole vault room. Well, just digitize it.
He just wanted the vault room. They have an excuse. Yeah, just spend money. And some rich people just like to spend money like, oh, that
or they have
cool.
to spend money.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. And so like you talked about different safes, man. It's just crazy that the price point variances between some of these safes, because he's talking about, man, people are out there spending $50,000 to $1 million. Yeah. There's a Porsche safe you were talking about that's like 50 G's or something like that. And it's like, And I told him, I said, how does it dry? You know, is what I said.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, that's just.
Yeah, we've got cool Porsche safe. If you ever get bored and want to look up a cool safe, there's a safe. The brand or the company that we work with a lot is called TK422 Customs.
Yeah.
And the safe that you want to look at is called the John Wick safe. And it was actually built out for Keanu Reeves.
Oh,
but
wow.
the safe, it looks like a normal safe. You open it up and it's got a leather chair. On one side, it opens up and there's a wet bar. On the other side is where his pistol's at. And then behind him, it's all marble, green marble with his guns hanging up on there. And it's just cool stuff. So there's some cool custom stuff that you can do there. We've seen one that was like a $300,000 safe. And inside you open it up and once again, a wet bar that came out. But then the inside was just flexible LED panels so you could watch a movie on the inside of your safe because... Why the freak not, I guess. And then not
Hold your gun and watch old gun movies or John Wick or something, you know?
So just had a bunch of LED panels on the inside, and one of the top panels actually came out and dropped down, and then the guns were behind there. But it was just crazy stuff like
Over
that.
the top,
Yeah.
You know, it's some people, everything that they do is it's time to show off.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
Yeah.
they go big at everything, their cars, their lifestyle, the set, you know, I mean, we all know people like that.
Yeah.
Just like high end everything, the most expensive of everything. It's just, that's who they are. And that's what they're most comfortable with. It's like, what's your biggest and best safe?
Yeah.
This is this guy. Okay, cool. Yeah.
I'll take two of them. Yeah. No, and that was one of the big things. I mean, going back to the business side of things, adjusting to that mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, I grew up small town, single mother, living
$1,000 is a shit ton of money.
Yeah, and that's what
I'm town or this growing up, small town.
Yeah,
you know, barely getting by, kind of paycheck to paycheck lifestyle, and it's like, then you've got this mental bias of like, nobody's going to spend 50 grand on a safe. And now you're like, dude, I don't want to touch anything under a grand. If it doesn't have a comment in it, don't talk to me.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and that's kind of what we looked at. Cause I mean, I had one of my sales guys, we flew him out to Germany. And then he went to Marbella, Spain. And so he's talking to guys that are on yachts that are putting these safes out there. And then we're like, we just had to get over that mindset of like, okay, what we're used to is not common everywhere else. And there are those clients that will spend that kind of.
There is a niche out there.
Yeah.
You got
you can go find it.
There is a gold vein.
Yeah.
You got to go through some of the dirt,
to
find the vein, right?
Yeah.
And you hit the vein.
And understand that it's common in those places. When you go deal with those people, like I remember the first safe that I sold that was over $10,000. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like he's going to buy a $10,000 safe. And now it's just, for them, it was so common. I looked goofy because I'm over here freaking out. It's a $10,000 safe. And for them, they were just like, this is just another day.
Yeah.
And so when you do, some of your business stuff, just finding those clients and understanding that some people are calm and cool. This is normal for them to spend.
Well, there's plenty of money out there on in existence and on the planet.
Yeah.
Like, let's just say, I mean, go to California. Go through some of these neighborhoods and just 20 million, every house is 10 to 50 million on some of these blocks. You can go in other neighborhoods and they're 5 to 10. Like, it's just country clubs, and there are these sub communities where there is abundance. Yeah. Just because we didn't grow up in these sub communities with abundance, by default, that gives us a limited mindset. And it's our responsibility to overcome that, right?
Exactly.
Like, and go through the reps. And I'm sure, obviously, the 10 grand one, and then there was 50 grand, had that same feeling. And now it's just like, yeah, man, it's 10 grand. Yeah, exactly. It's just no big deal because I've done it a billion times now. Mm-hmm. I have the reps. I'm comfortable with it, but the limited mindset's gone because you've had that experience. And it's like, that's the biggest issue, or the biggest detriment to most people's success, is their own limiting mindset, right?
100%.
I even wrote myself an email yesterday, and I was like, man, I should call myself the plunger. I was literally in the shower when I was thinking about it, and I was like, so many people clog their entire life up with this limited thinking bullshit, and I want to be the plunger.
Yeah, that's good.
I want to plunge that shit out. I want to free you up of the bullshit that is limiting you in your capacity and your potential and what you really have the ability to do. I mean, obviously we're talking about plungers and shit,
Yeah.
which usually refer to toilet, which is
Yeah.
kind of weird. But I was just sitting there thinking about it. What is clogging people up? What's stopping them from movement? Really, that's what a clog is. You're stopping movement. And it's just the limited mindset, the bullshit that we tell ourselves, or the story that we relive, or how we grew up, or whatever it is. But it's all just limiting beliefs, because it's if there's somebody out there worth, 10 million, you could be worth 10 million. Somebody has the house on the hill, you could have the house on the hill, and so, and then I went even deeper, going like, man, there's different levels of comparison as well, because I'm like, why do people have like a limited mindset? That why are they dealing with that bullshit? And then I got thinking about comparison.
Yeah.
And how that has the ability to play in with limited thinking. So for instance, you've got the people that compare themselves to those people below them. They will stop making progress because they're comparing themselves to people that they're better than, or further down the line than. So it's like, hey, I'm good. I'm better than this person, this person, this person. My results speak for themselves, and these people don't have those results. So therefore you get a sense of comfort and you stop progressing, right? You're comparing yourself to the wrong people. We've talked about this on the podcast, comparison stuff, but then there's the people that compare themselves to those next to them. Yeah. Like, think about the poor neighborhoods. It's like everybody around me is struggling to get by. They live paycheck to paycheck. This is normal. So therefore then they just accept that this is just normal. Yeah. So they're comparing themselves there to, and then there's the people that compare themselves to the people that are doing great things, and they get inspiration from it. And they're like, man, if they can do it, then I have the ability to do it. Right.
Yeah.
And then you've got the other side of the coin where they look up and say, fuck, I can't do that, or that, and that is right there where the thief of joy comes in, is because you feel that you're not capable of what somebody else is doing. So therefore you feel less than, right?
Yeah. And you're like, if only you knew those people and you realized, so there's a lot of them that are just idiots and got lucky to get up there.
Oh, bro, I'm sure there's been some people that drop 50 grand or 75 grand or whatever. And you're just like, man, how did you make your money, bro? Are you trust fund? What? Like, how the hell did this happen? So what are you into, man?
Exactly. Yeah, there's some of them we see that, there's some of them that are like, awesome. Yeah, we've done some cool people stuff. But then there's other ones that you're just like, how did you get to this point? Because it seems like you're so, like, not to trash on people, but I'm like, some people that seem so incompetent.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's such a struggle to get them to just do some basic things just in the interaction with, like, safe stuff. And I'm like, how are you affording this
out there?
20,000
Winter study how you are in here. Yeah. And the funny thing is there's tons of incompetent people that are successful, tons. Yeah. But they maybe have a specialty in this little teeny niche, but are completely incompetent on things that are just common sense to a lot of people. Yeah. I know that I'm guilty of that. Like, I can't run an entire business by myself, right? Like, you're competent, you can carry the saves, but you don't want to. You got people, right? Like, there are certain areas in terms of IT support or whatever it is around the office that, bro, I'm incompetent when it 100%. Comes to certain things. And so it's just funny to see that, how many actual idiots are rich. And I believe more people that are rich are probably idiots than they are just some naturally gifted person or 100%. Some smart person. They're so dumb that they can't even see risk, or they just blunt it to the side and avoid it, not even look that way. I don't care. I'm just going to do it. It's like they move without any regard. Mm-hmm. They're not thinking about, like, well, what if it doesn't work out? Because they're just, and it's sometimes the brainiacs that are overthinkers overthink themselves out of ever doing.
They build the clog themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you that thinking, and it's just like, well, here we go. Now you're clogged up. You're not doing. You're stuck in this thinking pattern, right? Which is a detriment to success. You need to be stuck in a doing pattern. There are moments where you should, like, be in the office, reflect, and think, how can I advance my business and do all of that stuff? But that is to me part of the doing, right? Because you're thinking about advancing your business and coming up with concepts or ideas that are unique and different, right?
You're working on the business.
not thinking about ways that it can't work.
Yeah,
You're thinking
exactly.
about ways of how to advance, which are, two totally different mindsets.
Yeah.
What's one thing that, going from the education industry to going into business ownership, what were some of the things that maybe surprised you about being a business owner that, if you were to sit down with you
Yeah.
7 years ago or 8 years ago going into it, what are some of the things that you'd be like, bro, you shouldn't have that expectation, or you shouldn't do this, or,
Yeah.
this was a surprise that you need to be on the lookout for.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Going into, because I did the educator thing, going into that side and then jumping into the business, I think I had that comparison was probably my biggest struggle. I mean, even up until just this last couple of years, the comparison killed me a ton. And
I've noticed, even in interacting with you and sitting down with you prior to the podcast, and even right now, it's like there is a different energy about you, like more of a calm but confident energy, rather than kind of like what to do next. Like
some of our last conversations.
Sure, these different things that I want to do. I'm like, sure, man. I'm here to support however. I think I say that however you need. I'm here to support you, my guy.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that was the biggest thing, is just, especially as I've learned, because when I was an educator, it was that the fear of failure. And I felt like that carried on through my business for a while. I was always afraid that I was going to fail. And what failure actually meant to me was that it was over. It was the end. Mm-hmm. And as I've got into the business realm, I would go back and tell myself, hey, failure is just like that. It's the mirror that's in the fun house. You're going to hit it.
Yeah.
No matter what. I don't care how great vision you think you have. You're going to hit a failure.
A lot of illusions.
Yeah. Yeah. You're going to hit failures, but you just bounce off and keep going. And it just means you have to go in another direction. And that's what, I joke with my guys, and I'm like, look, I have 6 years of failure. Mm-hmm. I have failed so many times over these last 6-7 years. And I'm like, but I'm where I'm at now because of those failures.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't trade any of those failures. I wouldn't trade anything that's happened. All the hard things in my life that have happened, I wouldn't trade.
Actually, during, be like, yeah, bro, pull me out of this hellhole. Yeah. But after the fact, it's hindsight, man.
Exactly.
It is absolutely incredible.
Yeah. So just understanding that failures are part of the process. You're not going to avoid them, but
don't let them discourage you more than, they can get you off the path to ensure failure forever if you allow it, right?
Yeah. And there's been times like I've looked at, like I said, these last 6 years, and there's times when I'm like, yeah, I probably could have given up there. I probably could have given up there, and I could be living a different lifestyle. I mean, after being an educator, I went and worked with the federal government for a while, and it was federal government workers. There's some great ones, but the majority, it's a pretty easy lifestyle. Like, I was an overworker for them.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I am working like 4 hours a day. And they're like, you were working way too much. And so
we all know why it takes 2 months to get a reply from government, anything,
And so I'm like, but I was making good money there.
Yeah.
And so I look back and I'm like, I could have quit and had the easiest lifestyle.
Yeah.
I could have been making really good money, really good benefits. I would have had an easy life there. But I'm like, but it would have stopped my growth. It would have stopped my progression there.
I don't know. You say easy life. Yeah, maybe on the financial side, but I don't know if it would have been an easy life mentally.
Yeah, and that would have been.
Then you're going to have to live with yourself, and you're operating less than for comfort, for security, rather than sticking your neck out a little bit and seeing what you can really do.
Yeah, and that's why I quit. I mean, it was a 6-figure job, and I quit that, and I jumped into something that now is not 6-figure or upside down 6-figure job. Yeah, we'll start in. There's a little line in front of it now, and so but it was just that, like, understanding up to that point that I was like, okay, failures don't define where I'm headed. It just helps guide me to where I'm headed.
Yeah,
if I keep progressing that way, even if I find the failure, like, I applied for a grant. And so I'm like, I felt pretty confident in my grant because I'm like, I'm going for suicide prevention stuff. And I got the email yesterday. I got denied. I didn't get the grant. And I was like, oh, all right, well, down to the next thing. And I'm like, before that would have rocked me. I'd have been like, oh man, like maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I didn't prepare this right. Now I'm like, oh, it just wasn't that time.
It is what it is. What do we have the ability to control?
Yeah. Yep.
Move
what's
on.
next? Yeah. And I mean, just the same week, I had an agency or an organization reach out to me. They're like, hey, we got about 200,000. We want to start working with you. And I'm like, oh, okay. I missed out on the 100,000. Yeah, I missed out on the 100,000. Yeah. Now they're like, hey, we got 200,000. We wanted to go to you. We want to do stuff with you. And so it was one of those things that it's just, like I said, if I could go back and be like, don't be afraid of failures.
Yeah, it's okay to bump into a wall. Just because you bump into a wall doesn't mean there's no way out.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's that, but you do have the data. That is not the way out, which is absurd. Yeah. Now you only could go 3 different directions. Yeah, exactly. You might bump in the wall the other 2, but thank God. And we talked about that. It's like, why do us business owners try everything that doesn't work first? Yeah. Why does it take 5 years of failure to actually get going, and find a rhythm and get comfortable in some of the chaos or some of what would be disappointing to the old version of you, right? And it's just like, once you've dealt with failure or disappointment so many times in business, it's just par for the course.
Yeah. It's just like, I'm dead now.
That didn't work.
Okay. All right, what's next?
Hey, what do you need over there? Hey, it's just move on to whatever you have the ability to control next, because that's your next best move.
Yeah.
Rather than pondering something that is a definite situation. No.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And it takes all the joy from you too, because you're just sitting there focused on that one. And I'm like, man, I enjoy running my business. Yeah. I enjoy doing these things. I enjoy hustling and trying to get out there. And
making those connections and getting the 200 grand
and learning about all the different things and the ways to progress. Because I'm like, I look at the situations both with the software and, the tech side for the safe industry and then the mental health side. I'm like, I wouldn't have gone into these realms if I hadn't gone and explored and learned. I reached out to other dealers out there in the nation, and they're like, what's a CRM? I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. Yeah. This has got to change. We got to do something here. And then getting into the mental health side, and they're like, hey, this is a huge area that's missing help from the safe industry. So I get to go step in there and do that. So but it was, learning through failures. I had things that didn't succeed, and I see why now, because they led to these things.
It's obvious to this version of me. It sure sounded hella good 3 lost years ago.
Yeah, it was terrible.
This is gonna work. Okay, no, right.
I admit this one is gonna work.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it works, man. No, it was it is really, really cool. I've been seeing you at the gym. How is that been a normal part of your routine or your life? Is that a new routine?
Yeah.
Does that kind of explain
so
side of it?
About a year and a half ago, my dad passed away unexpectedly.
Sorry to hear that.
He was a PE teacher in elementary school. He ran around with full grades. He didn't have a class at a time. He had a whole grade at a time. And he was one of the healthiest guys. The last conversation I had with him, he was super excited. He lived up in Pine Valley, which is cool. Close here.
Yeah.
And they had
a little retirement town for those that love the mountains, but want to stay close to St. George.
45-minute drive to that big city.
Beautiful.
But they just made a new trail from Pine Valley down to Vail, which is a little town just down the road. And he was like, now I don't have to ride my bike and almost get hit by cars all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And so he was just super, super healthy and fit on that side. And so he ended up passing from heart attacks. He had clogged heart valve. And so I was like, okay, well, if he can die from that, I'm like, I kind of need to step up my game. And so I just started to go from that. And then I started noticing the mental health side of it. And then I noticed that
what do you mean the mental health? The benefits? How it feels good to go move your body?
Yeah, it felt good. It gave me more of that, just kind of a habit that I could control a little bit more. It was something more that I can control versus the other things that were out of my control.
Yeah. And you can control how you feel through movement.
Yeah.
You'll feel good. Now, if you open up your email as you're walking out of the gym and see you got denied.
Yeah.
You're still the feeling, a little bit, but at least you can look in the mirror and have a nice little pump. But
and that was my other side too, is that I got to see progress. That I'm like, there's nothing else that I could, I can't control other people's actions as much as I wanted to be able to.
Yeah.
I couldn't. And so the progress that I wanted to go in those areas were limited to what other people could do. But when I got to the gym, the progress was based on me, and it was up to me. Nobody else could define my progression in this area. And so I'd started to go, and it was great. And I got out there, started rolling. I've lost, 10, 15 pounds, nothing crazy. But then I started noticing bulk. I started getting muscles. So I wasn't flat. I was like,
maybe I notice it. Yeah, notice it. You know what I mean? And so that's like,
yeah,
I was just wondering kind of like what spurred, because the consistency's been there. I mean, obviously you see me running hours in circles at the gym. And so I've been seeing Scott there, and him and his wife go, super early in the morning, like 5 or 6?
Yeah, we're at 6 usually.
Yeah, something like that. And so it's just really cool to see. I feel like I'm watching this better version of you just kind of unfold.
Yeah, I guess
right before my year, within the last year or two, in terms of the uncertainty, maybe not as confident, unsure, to this calm, confident, like it doesn't matter what happens.
Yeah.
I know I'm good enough and strong enough mentally, physically, all of those things. And I have people in my network I can lean on or whatever in order to overcome it. Like it's everything is overcomable.
Exactly.
And when you have that mindset, it does give you that calm confidence, right? It's just like, if it's good, I'll be good. If it's bad, I'll do it bad. You know what I mean? Like, when it's hard, let's do it hard. If it's easy, I'll do it easy.
Yeah, so sure. I know, and that's cool. That's one of my favorite things looking back, and is like, especially like our conversations. Like, I look back out the year, and man, it was here in this building was the first time I came and talked to you. And I remember I was shaking out the parking lot, and I was like, so it's like, I'm so excited to meet these guys.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I'm nervous because I don't think I'm like worthy to come and see these guys, and just because it was. You guys were at a level that I thought was unobtainable, in the sense of like being able to be successful and comfortable in my business, to be able to share with others, and to be able to move to the point where I'm at now. It's just like, you guys are awesome guys. Like I don't have that fear, because I'm like, if it goes terrible, if I have, spinach in my teeth,
that's whatever. You don't have to go back to work anyways, and whatever's sitting there, whatever problem is sitting at your desk right now, it'll still be there.
Exactly. And so to be able to do that, and I mean, that's cool. I'll do the plug for RBO, because I really do. I attribute a lot to it, because I felt like I did have a really smaller mindset when I started RBO.
Yeah,
and I'm a background RBOer. I'm not.
He's the one hosting all the time. They're like, hey, here's a win. Here's a win. Here's a win.
The creeper in the background. 99%
he wants
of the
to be around it. He wants to hear it and have access to it. But I honestly believe, to a certain extent, like, you should dive into stuff like that. Anything that has the ability to enhance the way that you think, or change your perspective, and being around positive people that have
100%.
seen some, like, that only has the ability to uplift you. Right. And it's crazy to me. In some cases, people make that investment and they start improving, but they don't ever. Maybe that's improving physically, but they're not improving on their business. Maybe they're improving their business, but they're not improving physically. They're very singular focus, rather than, okay, we need to kind of design this thing called life. What time do I want to wake up? What time do I want to exercise? What time do I want to show up to the office? How do I want to handle these situations? Do I like reacting, or would I rather respond? Or do I like feeling stirred up, or do I like, hey, it is what it is. It sucks, but let's move on. That quiet, confident, type energy. When you got what you needed, it's time to go to work.
Yeah.
And it's okay to be a background and kind of put one foot in, one foot out, because you're now equipped to go into your business with that new mindset. It's time to put in work.
Yeah.
And that's where the work is, right? It's good to be in the group, and it's good to be around cool people and positive people, but that only takes you so far without any implementation,
Yeah. And that was kind of my mindset. I was like, I don't, as much as I want to be successful in the group, my whole point of getting this was to be successful and and so I was like,
this is not trying to be the most popular guy in here and have everybody know my name, but I'm trying to be one of the successful guys.
As much as I want to be that is with Trevor all the time, I'm like, I really wanted to grow the business, and so
just got to get done.
And so that was a good thing, going in there, seeing that, and then being able to take it back and be like, okay, what can I do different? We get the mindset, like. It was the guy, he's out in Hawaii that does it best.
Brody.
Yeah, Brody.
just so that you know, he was here yesterday.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
the podcast that dropped last week
Yeah.
is Brody.
It's Brody. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Dream Big Fast.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, whatever.
Yeah, I remember sitting there listening to Brody in one of the calls, and he's just talking about dream bigger, and I'm like, how do I do that?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just a small guy, I'm just a shop, like that clogging, he's starting to clog up there,
Yeah.
and that was where RBO really helped me, because it was just like, no, if all these people can go and do this,
Yeah.
and get that mindset of going bigger, like, let's do it, let's go.
Yeah.
And so that's what kind of started to lead down of like, okay, how can I get bigger? Okay, let's go try the software. Let's go try and grow the industry. Let's try and go help with mental health. Let's go and try and sell a $1.7 million safe. Like, let's go to these big things that
there's these little veins outside of the actual business. And if you just stay in the heart of the business, you're not going to find some of those veins that could be really beneficial.
Yeah. And that can really help you get bigger.
Yeah.
Because that's where I felt
Part of
like
getting your name because you're involved in this and this and this and this, and everybody knows who is the authority in the safe industry.
Yeah.
Oh, by default, it's you because you got your hand in all of these.
Yeah, exactly. And so that allowed that mindset of growing bigger there. And so that's where I was like, yeah,
I need to razz him and get him back to be a guest down there. That was a really close call. That was a great call.
Yeah, it was a cool.
I would put it up there within, top 5 or 10 calls that we've had. There's no doubt.
Definitely.
He does a good job in, framing it and being like, "Hi, man, this guy's living in Hawaii. I guess if thinking big, put you on an island.
And that's where you want to go.
Yeah, exactly. So it's super cool, man. Yeah. I love to see your evolution, and I know it's just going to continue with where you're at mentally and stuff. So, how do people reach out to you if they want to inquire about? Do you ship safes? Do you use it?
Yeah. So I got a bunch of different facets, but
don't be under $1,000. You're very annoying. Filthy about that.
Yeah. So Utah Safe Companies are the main company. That's probably the easiest way to get a hold of me. That's where I kind of base office.
Is that like Facebook? Is that Instagram or
so Instagram
or what?
Yeah. So you can go to Instagram and look at Utah Safe Co. That's our Instagram handle. Facebook, we don't do as much on there. Instagram's definitely where we hit the most. And then for like our suicide prevention, mental health side, it's Safes for a Cause is the name of the company.
Okay.
And anything that way, I don't hesitate to reach out, whether that's to us. I mean, I tell people here in the community when I run to officers, I run into anybody that's involved with those kind of people. I'm like, if you need a free safe, you have somebody that needs a free safe, like come holler at me. Like, if they really do need one, we'll take care of it.
You talked about donating like 300 and something.
Yeah, I think we're
the state of Utah.
3,000 something.
Or 3,000?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was 300.
No, 3,000.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, my bad. Okay. There's Mr. 10X over thinking bigger. Why isn't it 30,000 now?
We're getting there. We're getting there. But yeah, so that side, we're happy to take care of you. There are organizations, like that's my biggest thing that I wish and what we're working on is that more people knew about all the resources out there. Because, there's the safe sides that we're getting out. There's classes. There's the crisis centers where you can go in if you're having a struggle. It's like a hotel. You go in there, they'll give you a room. You can
don't tell a bunch of business owners that,
right?
Or there's a place to sleep and food is. Somebody take my cell phone and
So there's stuff like that it's a lot of the times it's free. Like the 988, man, it's nationwide.
Yeah,
you wherever you call 988, you text 988. It's a free counselor, anonymous. You don't even have to say who you are. You can just go in there and start having those conversations to get help. And so those resources are pretty readily available across the U.S. Every state, even our territories, have like suicide prevention plans, and they all include free resources for people. So if you need help getting directed to those ones, by all means, reach out to me.
Yeah.
I'm happy to help out there.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And likewise, I've received letters from people that wrote in and said, "Hey, man, I was going to take my life. I started listening to the podcast, and you held a mirror up to me and was really, really challenging me and made me like actually reflect on my actions." And how my actions have put me in a situation where mentally I'm thinking like this, and so I don't think that there's too many people on the planet that if somebody's going through something that's that difficult, life-ending type thoughts, that wouldn't be there to help.
Yeah,
whether that's me, whether that's Scott, whether that's some of the resources that he shared. I mean, I just, there's just good people in the world that don't want to see people go through struggle alone.
Yeah.
The problem is struggle seems to, keep people really, really quiet.
Yeah.
Embarrassed about struggling, like it's not normal.
Yeah.
Some people may handle their struggles better than others, but struggle is struggle. And you get to a tipping point, you better tip in the right direction. And that's reaching out to somebody that has the ability to support you in a temporary moment of frustration or darkness. Cause that's all it is. It is temporary. And we put those glasses on, and we put the temporary glasses on, and then we look into the future and say, I can't feel or live like this forever. It's not a forever feeling or a forever situation, And so anyways, we hope you guys enjoyed today's podcast. I know I enjoyed, speaking with Scott. I enjoyed the conversation. I enjoyed learning more about the industry for real and some of the cool things that you're doing. So if this episode has the ability to benefit somebody that you love and care about, share the show, rate and review the show. Other than that, keep kicking ass, guys, and we'll see you next week.